I'm Claire Thomson, I'm a chef and a food writer. I'm here at Everhot and I'm going to cook some of the recipes in my books and also how I cook at home for my family. So first up, I thought we'd do leftover porridge bread. This recipe came about because, well, you've always got that little bit of porridge left over in the pan that, to stop food waste, you can throw it in a bread dough and it makes the best bread. So I'm going to add 500 grams of strong white bread flour, 200 grams of leftover porridge, 300 grams of cold water, 7 grams of yeast, and salt I'm going to add after about 2 minutes of mixing because salt will kill the yeast. And that's it really. You're going to make that into a dough, mix it well, and then prove it, knock it back, prove it again, pop it in the Everhot oven. Love making bread at home, and it's a really good activity to do with children when you've got time on your side. Then we've got this thorny leftover porridge that no one knows what to do with. 7 grams of yeast, which we're just going to measure into the same bowl, and 300 grams of cold water. Ooh, a bit more. Give that a little mix, just to get that yeast moving through the water. Into the flour and porridge. So after it's been mixing for about 2 minutes, you're going to add 5 grams of salt. If you add it before then, the salt will kill the yeast, so don't do that. And that goes. And that's just going to mix for about 6 minutes really. So we've got our dough here, leftover porridge dough, porridge, bread flour, yeast, salt, water. You can make your porridge on the stovetop, in the induction, or overnight in the slow cooker at 100 degrees. Any which way, you need leftover porridge to make this dough. So I'm just going to damp this tea towel and then I'm going to leave this to prove on top of the Everhot for about up to 2 hours until nearly doubled in size. So our dough, as you can see, is sort of doubled in size here. That's taken about an hour and a half, give or take the temperature of the room where you've rested it. I've rested my dough on top of the hob, but you can leave it in a cooler place if it's a very hot day. Bit of flour on your work surface. And here we have our porridge dough. So I've put this on a lightly floured worktop and I'm just going to knock it back for about a minute really, give or take, and then pop it in a tin, put some oats on, and I'm going to prove it again for about 45 minutes until it just rises above the lip of the tin. I've got a 900 gram baking loaf tin here. Just folding it in over on itself like that, just to get a bit of tension to the dough. A bit more flour. You can feel it's nice and springy, got bubbles going. This is what you want in a nicely proved dough. I'm going to pop that in the tin. You can see it's got a nice tension, it's got a nice bounce back when it goes in. Perfect, really. Into the tin it goes. Little dough baby. And then about a tablespoon of oats, just because it looks lovely when it bakes. I'm going to pop the cloth back over that and leave that for about 45 minutes until just risen above the lip of that tin. So I think we're there with our bread now. As you can see, it's just above the lip of the tin. So just want to slash your bread attractively with a serrated knife. Just a little bit, and that will help the bread not burst its seams too much. So we're going to pop this in the oven now. The oven's nice and hot at 230, and we've used the grill function to just give it a bit of a boost too. So our loaf is out of the oven and rested for at least 10 minutes. Now we're going to slice into it, and it's going to show you how perfect this breadcrumb is. I always think of it a little bit like a crumpet, really, this bread loaf. It's perfect. Can you see? Nice aeration all the way through, evenly sized pockets. It's like a perfect bread dough.